few words. I was driving to work on Friday. It was my last day at work before Christmas. And I thought, I'll put a bit of smooth FM on. I just want a bit of Christmas music, and it's good for some easy listening, isn't it, at my age, on the way to work. So I put it on, and on the radio came a song from the 80s, a very well-known Christmas song from the 80s, 1984. It was number one for weeks and weeks and weeks. Anyone remember what that was? Sorry? I can't hear anyone. Yes, do they know it was Christmas? So if you remember that in 1984, you're showing your age. I remember it. It's nearly 40 years ago, that, isn't it? But I was a very young child then. But I had older siblings who were teenagers, so I remember having it on in our house quite a lot. So it was Do They Know It's Christmas by Band Aid. And it was a charity record, wasn't it? It was to raise money, because at the time there was a really severe famine in Ethiopia, 83 to 85. And so it raised money for that. So I was on my way to work just listening to this song, reminiscing, thinking. And then there was two lines in the song that just popped out at me. And it's one of them is when they say, do they know it's Christmas time? And the other one was, the greatest gift they'll get this year is life. And of course, when the singers of that song were singing that, they were thinking about the people in Ethiopia who were going through a really awful time. And actually, if they just had life, it was a gift. But it just struck me, it struck a chord in me, and I was thinking, actually, isn't the greatest gift that any of us get at Christmas is the gift of life, either physically or spiritually? The gift of life is the greatest gift that any of us get. And as I was listening to that song and just thinking about that, the words of another song popped into my head really loudly. And it was just the words of the really well-known carol, Light and Life to All He Brings. I was thinking about the greatest gift being life, and then these words of the carol, Light and Life to All He Brings. And that just popped in my head. Yes, Jesus brings light and life. That's what he came to the world for. That's why we celebrate Christmas, to celebrate the light and life that Jesus brings. Does anyone know what carol that's from? Hark the herald angels sing. Another question. We're on Quizmaster Day, aren't we? What year? Does anyone know what year Hark the herald angels sings was anyone going to quick Google? I think Bob's Googling now. Are you, Bob? It was 1739. So we had a song from almost 40 years ago, and Hark the Herald was written over, nearly 300 years ago. So I was going to try and get the words up for Hark the Herald, but I don't think I've done it, so David's going to pass me them. I forgot to let the PA people know. Oh. We've even got music. I'm not going to sing to you, though. I'm going to save that for other people later. But the words of Hark the Herald, so I was so struck by these words in my head, I had to go home and look the lyrics up. So I'll just read them to you, actually, rather than having them maybe up there. Is that okay? I'll just read them. It's because some of these words are incredible. 300 years ago. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise. And we think about our church family today. We're of many nations, and we're joyfully rising to join the triumph, the victory in the skies, the victory that Jesus brought with the angelic host. And we saw an angelic host this morning, but the angelic host that would have filled the skies when they came to the shepherds and said, we're bringing you great news, the angels and the archangels. And they proclaimed, they told the shepherds, they told the people, Jesus has been born. It goes on, hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness, light and life to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings. Our healing comes through knowing Jesus, doesn't it? Born that man no more may die. What a glorious Christmas message, that we don't have to live our 70 years and 10 and then think that's it, that's what we're all about. But we're born no more to die. We can have a glorious life with the Lord in victory. Born to raise the sons and daughters of earth, born to give them second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn king. And I was thinking about that with the angelic host were proclaimed. The carol tells us to proclaim, to tell people that Jesus has come. And I was thinking, that the first line of that original song in the 80s, do they know it's Christmas? And sometimes I look around at our world today and the busyness of the tinsel and the trees and the wrapping paper and the presents and the food and the drink, and all that is great. It's great to have time with our family and our friends, isn't it? It's great to eat, maybe not too much, but I'm sure some of us might eat a little bit too much. It's great to have fun times. But it's all about Jesus, isn't it? And I wonder, do people know it's Christmas? It's Christ first. We're here celebrating the birth of Jesus. Or has that got lost? And I think for lots of people, it probably has got lost. It's not about Jesus anymore. It's about other things. And it's our job as the church here, as the people of God in this place, to let people know it's about Jesus. It's still about Jesus. It's always been about Jesus. And that's what we've been doing this week, hasn't it? We've had a busy week this week at Bethany. Many of us have been caroling in the horse and farrier and up and down in the village this week. And I know I heard some good reports that Jamaica in Tesco told people it's about Jesus. We're from Bethany Church. It really warmed my heart to hear that. With the Oasis Christmas party we've had, I'm sure Jesus was explained to people and proclaimed at that really great event. The Patty Cake Christmas party, I'm sure, the mums there were told Christmas is about Jesus. We've had the Limitless Christmas party. We've had the Christingle this week. We've had over 200 primary school children coming into the church, and we've put on a Christingle service for them. We're not big on Christingles in Pentecostal churches, but we did it because the schools asked us, can we come and have a Christingle service in your church? And we did it, and we told them about Jesus. And we said, Jesus is the reason why we celebrate Christmas. All the leaflets, the invites that we've given to friends, to family, to neighbours, to colleagues this year to invite them to our Christmas events. We've all been involved in that. And if we've not been involved with that, maybe we need to think that one through and think, can I be involved in that next year? Because if we're not proclaiming Jesus, if we're not telling people that Christmas is about Jesus, then we've kind of missed the point, really, haven't we? We're missing out on the truth of that Jesus came to reconcile us back to God. We need to think about that. That's the whole purpose why our church is here and in this village. So I'm going to close because we've got other things we want to share with you. But I would just say, that Hark the Herald Angels sings, we're going to sing it tomorrow morning on Christmas morning. It was, the title of it used to be A Song for Christmas Day. So we're going to sing it tomorrow morning. But it was written by Charles Wesley and George Whitefield, okay, the two really big founding fathers of the Methodist Church. They wrote the lyrics of that nearly 300 years ago. But the piece of music, which was quite interesting, the piece of music was written by Mendelssohn, and he wrote the musical score for it to commemorate the Gutenberg printing press being invented. So those of you who know your church history, around that time in Germany, the Gutenberg printing press was invented. And it was amazing for the church because for the first time ever, we could print the Bible and get it to people rather than it being handwritten. Imagine handwriting the whole Bible. It used to take forever. But we could print it now. And so the Bible was available to the masses for the first time. It was William Tyndale who smuggled Bibles in, printed Bibles from Germany into England around about that time. And he was friends with these guys who wrote Hark the Herald. And do we all know what happened to William Tyndale? He was martyred. He was martyred, burned at the stake for smuggling Bibles into this country. Okay, so we have Bibles freely now, don't we? And so it's just, it's worth knowing these things because when we're singing tomorrow morning, Hark the Herald Angels sings, we can think of Charles Wesley, who rode up and down the country telling people about Jesus. We can think of George Whitefield, of Tyndale, people who risked their lives, such great history and heritage that we have when we sing these things, remembering what people have done, but ultimately remembering the first advent of Jesus, when Jesus came to show us a way back to the Father, looking forward to when Jesus will come again, the second advent. He's coming again, isn't he? Hallelujah. And he's going to come in glory with all his angels singing. He's coming victorious. We're looking forward to that day, aren't we, when we see Jesus coming through the sky. So steeped in history and heritage, let's remember that. And finally, let's rejoice this morning as we have some history and heritage from other people. So there's quite a number of people in our congregation today who are a long way from home. Maybe they've made the UK their home now, but they're still, they might think their home is a long way away. And we wanted to celebrate with some of these people. And you know, there are people I know who are dearly missing home this year and who would love to be there. So we just want to rejoice with you and to hear about some of your traditions and some of the things that you might do. I think we're going to hear some songs, and we're just going to glorify Jesus through hearing from other cultures and other nations this morning. So I think first up we've got King Herod and Karen. Yeah?